let's continue with the presentation. Well, just now I want to make the reminder of the panic alarm cycle because we'll need it you will need to be really aware of how the state changes. So we'll have the different changes between the shell, the normal, not acknowledged, return to none, and acknowledged during this training. Keep in mind the activation time because we will come back to this later. And also the different formula examples that I will have available to follow up the training. So I will leave you now with Julian that will continue with the exercises.
Yes, so well, let's start. First, before starting the exercise, I would like to introduce a little bit the dynamic of these exercises. We have based this training in some simulators. Okay, so you have prepared and configured one device by alarm for create your alarms and one simulator all identified with your username to simulate some values, in this case, simulating different attributes from a beam line. Okay. And the first exercise, it's proposing to create an alarm for a vehicle. Okay. In all of the exercise, or more or less in most of the exercise, we will have a context without an objective, trying to explain a realistic situation where we have to work with panic. In this case, we are in a vehicle system and we have to prepare panic to warn when vehicle temperatures it's over a certain value, okay? And you will see that the next slides of the exercise will have a mission, but this first one is more guided to do it with the steps. So the first step for this exercise is to create a new alarm. So enter to panic if you don't have opener and click the new button and you will see there is a widget to edit alarm or create an alarm. It's the alarm editor. Okay.
Now, when you create the alarm, there are two steps that it's impossible that are important to cross-check. Here, when you select your alarm device, you should have a device with your username. In case you miss it, just tell us and we will create it now. Okay? It's important that when you're creating the alarm, selecting the device, you must find this device, training/alarms with your proper username. Yeah. And just tell us if you cannot find it.
This will be your device calculator that was talking before. That evaluate your alarms. We will try always to use our username in the device because if not, we will overwrite alarms from other participants, okay? So yeah, the second step is to define this information of the alarm as our first alarm. We would like to put the vehicle over temperature, your username to identify it properly as a tag. As Sergi said, select your device, your alarm device that has your username at the end. The alarm priority can be different levels, but in this case, we will start with an alarm priority. And try to write a clear description for the objective of this alarm that represents the behavior of this alarm. Let's start. Just start. Okay, so if we have all this information in our alarms and we select our device with our username and identify the tag alarm with our username also, we will continue with the next step, that is, in this case, an introduction of a tool that we will use to find our simulator attributes, okay? As Oriol said at the beginning of the Tango introduction, we will use a tool that is Tango Browser. In the slides, there are the explanation to access via terminal, but we can access from the Panic toolbar. I don't know, Sergi, if you have Panic here. Open it in this.
Yes, we can show from here. If we go to the Panic application, okay, there are many applications open, but not Panic. Nevertheless, we'll go to the controls 6 machine. We open Panic. And from here, the Tango browser tool, you can open it from shell. Just start typing tango_browser. But from Panic, in the latest version of Panic, we have added also a link from here. So you can also open it from here in the tools menu.
Okay.
Okay, and you can open the application, and from here you can browse for attributes and search.
So in this case, as I was saying, once we have Tango browser opened, during the training, we will need to search our simulator attributes. Every one of you have a simulator, okay? Your simulator, we will follow the pattern in the slides like this. It will be sim/panic/training/ your username. Oh, no, sorry, this is we have a typo here. Sim. For example, okay, yeah, it will follow this pattern. sim/panic/your username. This will be your simulator, okay? And if you search this, you will see all of the attributes of this device. As you can see, I'm in the simulator of Monse. And we have plenty of attributes: the state, the status, valve 1, valve 2, valve main, breakout heater on, get up heater power, breakout temperature, beam on, etc. Some pressures. This tool will be useful during all the training, okay? So we will work with our simulator. If you want to search a specific attribute, you can write it here. Also, this tool provides the functionality to drag and drop the attributes from the breakout temperature to the plot. And we can select the time from now to the past that we want to have here, for example, 5 minutes ago. And also from our panic queue, if we are creating an alarm that was the step before, we can drag and drop also the attribute to our formula. So if we will drag and drop to here, you will see that I will have sim/panic, in this case /Monseprieto/breakout temperature. So like this, you don't have to write all the Tango URL of your attribute. You only need to drag and drop from Tango browser. Everyone has Tango browser opened?
No.
It's not working. In Zoom, anyone has any issues with Tango browser?
I could open it, yes.
Sorry.
You could open it or you not?
I could.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So stay with Tango browser opened, try to leave it during all the training because we will use it in every exercise, okay?
Sí, no, ya un error en la slide.
Hey, in the slides, there is a mistake. We shouldn't write training, okay? It's really,
/your user.
yeah.
Així ho també. No?
Yes, there is a type on the slide.
Okay.
But how did you copy the route to the formula for the formula? This route that you copy and you paste in the new alarm.
Okay, I will show it directly.
You have to drag from the attribute name.
Yes.
You click on the attribute name and then you drag it.
You drag it onto okay.
Drag the attribute, yes.
From
To the formula field.
okay, this is mine. So you can, Javier, take any attribute from here, and you will see the signal in your cursor, and drop it inside the formula field of the panic alarm.
Okay, 1 second.
I think the panic is not running.
When panic was open.
Yeah, but I open it from here. Okay, everyone has a Tango browser opened? I think no. So now, if anyone has it, we will continue with the slides. And the exercise is to try to success with this expected output. So if the bakeout temperature is over 80, the alarm is active. With this information that we write before and this field in the formula and dragging and drop your simulator bakeout temperature attribute, you have to write a simple formula that evaluates this expected output. Try it, we'll add some minutes, and if we have some issues, we can solve it or try to explain the solution, okay? It's important to check always before saving our alarm, always your username in the tag at the end of the tag and your username in the device, okay?
Panic, we will be seeing people who is succeeding at creating the alarms. They will be appearing here.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say it, but Sergi and me are controlling all the simulators. So now your simulators are in a unsafety situation for the bakeout temperature. So if you evaluate the formula with the evaluate button inside of the alarm editor, you will see that the result is true. The meaning is the alarm is active. Yeah. Okay, I see. I don't know why I will show it in 1 minute or two, Ali. Try to do it by yourself, and then we will evaluate if the formula are correct or not. It's only a first contact with formulas. I don't know why the alarms from Monse and Carlos are in a normal state. Okay, now yes.
That in my case is an alarm, but at the beginning it was not until I did it manually. So it took a while to be
All the alarms have an activation time.
okay, it was several seconds.
Because we have the whole configuration.
We will show later because the exercise 6 is changing these activation times. Now you can let me check what is your default.
We have here some of the
But-
alarms
But
active.
as I've explained, every alarm requires a time for the condition to be active. Now are currently testing the formula every 5 seconds and the alarm threshold is 5. So it needs 25 seconds to activate.
Okay, so if anyone has any questions in Zoom, if not, we will continue with the solution. And you can final.
What's it, 5 seconds? And.
It's
a second.
it's checking
We can continue with the solution, I think.
But it needs 5 consecutive truths to enable. But
So,
this is what you can configure. You can have alarms that react just for one check at half second and alarms that react 4 hours.
in this case, in this exercise, the solution was this, using the comparison operator with your Tango URL for your simulator. In my case, my simulator is using this training field, but in your case would be your username. When this attribute is over 80, our alarm is true, so it's active. If anyone has this formula, please complete it, save the formula, and we will continue with the exercise.
Sí, sí. I ara ja pots fer save amb el teu usuari.
Okay, you will see that if you save the formula, it will ask for your username and password. In the training, you are configured as an admin with your personal ALBA user, and your password is with ELDA. So in your case, Ali, I think that it's Mohammed.
Si fas canvi els usuaris, aquí t'apareix resolució. I és el valor de l'alarma si està actiu o no.
I'm not allowed to save the.
You're not
The
allowed
alarm.
to save.
Which user it is?
David Yepes, I don't know the user.
David Yepes, I'm gonna check if it's I'm gonna check if it's admin.
We're checking it, okay?
Si no, si abans apareixut, el que abans connectes amb la fórmula.
If it's
Oh, he's not admin, that's true. I'm solving that, David. I'm afraid you will have maybe to close and open the application. Yeah, just try again, and if it doesn't work, close and open the application and you will be admin. I hope nobody else has this issue.
it works, Francesc.
No.
Now it's working.
Now it's working perfect, okay.
S'ha quedat com? És que estàs fent servir un escriptori. I estàs tocant amb la pantalla.
Oh, jo estic, no, és que
You don't see the plot from your simulator.
S'ha quedat així com.
We will see if your simulator is not archived, because Tango browser is working with archive.
sí, però és que
So-
sortit, però és que després ha desaparegut. Anava a posar l'usuari i ha desaparegut.
Vale, perquè potser alguna altra finestra s'ha ficat
S'ha
aquí.
fotut a sobre i no.
Sí, vale.
Ali is saying that he can plot. I think that we can plot the value. No, archiving is not working in the simulator of Ali.
Okay, then I will solve that.
And the others, let's try. Monse was working.
In principle, I added everyone to archiving this morning. I can just try again.
Okay.
Ali, your attribute should be archived.
either in the Francesc simulator. In Francesc simulator also,
The what's
archiving is not working.
Uh,
Well, I can plot it,
You can't plot it.
5 minutes, for example. Since when is active these devices?
Since yesterday afternoon.
This is the demo effect. Okay, Ali, we will try to fix it. For now, it's not compulsory to use the archiving. We will only need it in the exercise 5. Okay, so during the exercise, we will try to fix this. But right now, as I can see here, your alarm is active, no?
Okay, it's true that Ali, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not interested. Okay.
so, and Francesc also is not working. Okay, so I will continue with the explanation, okay? We will fix these problems with archiving, but for now it's not necessary to do anything with archiving, okay? So now we have created our alarm, and you can see your alarm right now that has the state UNAC, that is unacknowledged, as Serge explained before. Okay, before doing anything, please listen to me, because I have to reset the simulator to this part of the exercise. So now your alarms are in the state unacknowledged. That means that are active and anyone claims for dealing with them. Now you can acknowledge it. Did you reset the? So you can acknowledge the alarm. In this case, your alarm with your username, make out over compared to your username. Right click, acknowledge or renounce the alarms. And this will another time ask for your credentials to change the state to acknowledge it. That means that the alarm is also active, but anybody or you are working to deal with the problem. Okay. This is a little bit to see the cycle, the alarm cycle or the state cycle of these alarms. Let's see if anyone is acknowledging his alarms. As you can see here, there are some users that are acknowledging. Oh, the alarm from Ali is in error.
Takes us 25 seconds to change.
What?
If change, return to normal. Once the temperature is down,
No, but if I do that,
it should be.
Yeah, you can use the refresh button, Carlos. What, Ali? What did you say? I think because Serge is touching your device, probably, no?
No, I was just starting to archiving.
Okay, but I don't know why it's in error.
Oh,
I will search your simulator if it's working or not.
Return to normal.
It seems that it's working good.
Because I switched on the temperature, you can see those show values.
But now should be. Why is not green?
Okay, now in archiving is working.
Because it needs.
And your alarm, why is not?
25 seconds.
Now the
Training.
come back to the speaker. Out of the later we'll find exercise to understand all the times. We always have faster, the activation is always typically faster than the reset. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, you can set it.
Ah,
from
okay.
the-
Ali, you
set
put,
the alarm to the reset.
this is a problem that Ali has in his formula. That is what I was saying. You have your own simulator. This is mine simulator. Okay. So you should put here your username. Okay. And if you evaluate the formula, now should be true. Let's see. Is Muhammad? I'm with 2 M's. Why is it formula not working?
Okay. Okay, it looks like a problem with one of the names of the attributes. So,
But there is only pay. Ah,
Per counts.
take out. You saw it now?
yes, but it's false because we will reset the simulator. No?
Yes.
Okay,
So
now it's working. I will change your alarm, okay, Ali?
now all of you have seen that the alarms that were back to normal automatically were auto reset.
We reset the conditions of the simulator and we has passed with the states unacknowledged, acknowledge, return to normal, and normal. But I think the auto reset adds directly, no, Sergi?
The auto reset, if the situation is okay, cleans up the formula. Cleans up the state of the alarm.
But we changed the configuration because it was a while of time now.
Now it's 2 minutes, the auto reset.
Oh, okay, we passed these 2 minutes, but from the return to normal state to the normal state, we have a parameter that we will talk later that is auto reset. In this case, you are configuring 2 minutes, so we didn't need to do this action that was reset manually your alarm if you are sure that you solved the problem. If in any case you work with alarms and you are dealing with any of it and you solve the problem, but your alarm still is returned to normal because panic doesn't act with an auto reset yet, you can reset the alarm manually. Okay, you have this option here with the right click in the alarm. But your alarm right now are in normal state because panic left 2 minutes to auto reset it, but the auto reset is done now. Okay. So if anyone has any question, it's a good moment to do it. If not, we can continue with the next exercise, I think. Okay.
We just go to the next.
So the next exercise is related with some pressures related to vacuum. And the context is that we have several sensors of pressure. In this case, in our simulator, we have 3 sensors. And we need to configure panic to monitor the multiple pressures of these gauges and create an alarm when any one of these pressures is over a limit. Okay. The objective for this exercise is to introduce regular expressions in formulas. So in this case, you know how to create a formula, an alarm with the new button and the alarm editor. So now this is like an instructions slide or with alarm information, in this case, a vacuum high pressure and with your username tag. The device should be another time training / alarm / your username. The alarm should be with alarm priority. You can choose your description. And the formula has an expected output that is that the alarm is triggered when any of the chamber pressures values from your simulator is more or equal to this value. But we have some rules to do the formula. In this case, we need to use the find macro the max function, and this wildcard. If you don't know what these macros and wildcards are doing in the formula, you have some hints here in the green in the green space of the slide. We will have 5 minutes. This is the exercise to do a more complex formula in your own, and then we will continue with a different type of exercise. If anyone has any problem, please let me know. We have the simulators off right now in a safe.
The scenario is off.
So now we will act with all of the simulators to put the vacuum pumps off, okay? So this will put the simulators in a good condition to trigger this alarm.
Basically, what we are simulating now is what happens when the pumps go off in a pavement.
Yes, be careful writing the formulas with these keywords because are in Spanish, but the machine is writing in English, so the symbols are in other sides. The only attributes needed are the chamber pressure and a number. Okay, the status is not necessary in this formula. I will check if anybody has finished his alarm. Seems that Carlos finds the formula. Who will check? Did you use the fine and max macros, etc.? Okay. It's not working. Okay, in Zoom, everyone is trying it. I will check. If not, in 1 minute, we will continue with a solution. Javier, it seems that your formula is in error.
Aunque se queda just aquí, en el final.
Okay.
I see, yes, I see that there's some problem.
Okay, we will check the solution to do it because it's true that we need to improve the syntaxis corrector in Panic because it's a little bit difficult to detect sometimes when we have syntaxis mistakes here. Okay. So I think that I will propose a solution in the screen. I would like to analyze it and then continue. We will update our alarms to leave it all working. Our solution in this case would be this one. We have the value, a comparison following the expected output, using the max function to take the maximum value that the macro find is taking from any attribute of our simulator, that the attribute name starts with chamber pressure. So in this case, we are taking from our simulator chamber pressure 1, chamber pressure 2, and chamber pressure 3, and taking the maximum value and comparing with our safety value. Okay. If you want, well, you should update your alarm with this formula and save it to leave it working, because in the future we will need this alarm to work it with them. Remember that in my solutions there are my simulator and my device. Yours should be your username in your device and your simulator. Sorry to repeat it, but it's really important.
Al resultat d'això, hem estat un ratit en una llista, però sempre que va haver així de una manera de no li passo una entre la d'altra una fórmula ja posa una llista.
Aquí ja és una cosa de programació que vale.
Però sobretot us ensenyem així, com que són les sintaxis típiques i tòpiques, per sapigueu com trobar-ho o com generar-ho.
I després interpretar les coses. No, sobretot que
Això també d'això, és que s'apunt i afegeixes un entrevig més.
no he de tocar.
No he de tocar l'alarma.
Si mantinc
Això sobretot funciona perquè tenim parells, és molt fàcil que...
Perdona, ¿por qué no? Una pregunta.
Però això és per tot el que tingui nom de parell.
Julen?
Aquí pots provar.
No s'activa.
Havia sortit, però desaparegut.
Ha desaparegut.
Estàvem
Hola.
disposats a desaparegut.
Ah, espera. Està aquí dalt. Estàs aquí. Uah.
Amb el que m'està costant això. Hòstia, manel.
Anyone has updated his formula?
No, I want to show a trick. Okay, just one thing. If you are not able to find your alarm in the application because there are too many alarms, remember that in the Panic application we have this filter here on the top. So if you would just want to go for your alarms, just type a filter on top and you will see only your stuff. Okay. The same way I can put here only pressure, and I will see everything that is related to pressure. So this way you can, if you find that in the systems where we have thousands of alarms, we need these filters to be able to deal with the applications.
Una pregunta.
¿Así?
Porque es necesario, es la única forma de hacerlo a través de la función max. O sea, se podría hacer como tipo o esta presión
Sí.
o esta.
Sí, puedes encadenarlos con OR
Es que
perfectamente.
eso lo he intentado, pero me ha dado error.
Sí,
No sé si.
En principio te puede dar error por algún tipo de sintaxis, pero tú tienes que poner las fórmulas que teníamos al principio, en el primer ejercicio, encadenadas con OR, tres
Mm.
comparaciones debería funcionar igual.
Es que, bueno, igual es porque he saltado de línea, le he dado un enter y he puesto OR.
No, eso no debería importar.
No sé si es un tipo de ese. ¿Y OR tiene que ser mayúscula? ¿Es importante que sea mayúscula, minúscula y todo eso? ¿O?
Si quieres, comparte un screenshot de tu alarma por el chat y podemos echarle un vistazo.
Vale, vale.
Ah,
le vuelvo
bueno,
a cambiar
a ver,
todo.
de hecho tenemos tu alarma aquí, la tienes guardada, ¿no?
Sí, bueno, es que ahora he puesto esto y por eso ha funcionado, ¿no? He puesto
Sí.
esto y por eso está bien. Pero si vuelvo a lo que había escrito, déjame editarla y creo que me daba error. ¿Vale?
Vale, ahora nos lo... Bueno, a ver, de hecho,
¿Se puede editar en fórmula con o sea, comentar para no tener que borrarlo? ¿O no?
poner comentarios.
Sí.
Daría resultados extraños.
O lo lee todo, vale, vale. Bueno, ya lo volveré a escribir esto de fine.
¿Vale?
Sí.
A ver, realmente sí puedes poner un comentario, pero si luego tienes multilíneas, si te queda el comentario entre multilíneas, ahí puede pasar cualquier cosa inesperada.
Ujú.
Si,
Vale.
si quieres, Javier, deja esta como está porque la necesitaremos después y puedes
Vale,
crear
déjame
otra
cambiar un
alarma que
momento a
se
hacer la
llame.
prueba.
Dime.
Hago la prueba un segundo.
Sí, pero digo que lo podías hacer en otra. En
Ah,
otra que
bueno,
se llame distinta.
ya la vuelvo a editar.
Y mientras seguimos con el siguiente ejercicio que es muy similar. So we will continue. ¿Sí? The result of find is a list. The result of find. I mean, you can write the formulas in multi-line style. This is not a problem for panning. You can write the formula in multi-line. So this is not an issue. And the result of the find is always a list. So however you write the formula in the editor, at the end is saved in a single line. So you are free. The problem is you put comments within the code because these comments will be messed up later on when joining everything. Yes, but if now you're seeing my screen, okay, this is, let's come back to. Okay, but for example, what I was explaining, and I think what was the case for Javier, is that you can type this. And there is not a problem with that. I mean, I can write a formula like this. I can put a multi-line and there's no issue with that. Yes. Yes, you can do that thing. Yes. So yes, you can do this check. You can do something like you're talking about this, for example. Isn't it? Yes. Yes. You have. Yeah, yes, of course. You can do this. That would be that. Yes. You can put, I mean, you can complicate it as much as you can. you can go to the panic documentation. We will give the links later. And using the widget calculator, you can test here all the formulas. And also doing this button will show you what you are finding in your formula. So you can play with this calculator widget and try to find your best formula for your case. Okay? Now we'll go to the next exercise. Just to show, we will have to do this exercise a bit fast, but this is to show also how regular expressions affect in the searches when we use find. So Julian will continue with that, and I will try to solve the problems of the rest of people in background.
I will try to explain it a little bit quick because the important thing in this exercise is not the complexity of the formula, because any one of us are experts in regular expressions, but it's only to have a conclusion at the end of the exercise, okay? So the context for this second part, did you listen me correctly? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the second part of this exercise is that the vacuum team says that now our formula, that was this one, it's taking in count the 3 chamber pressures, 1, 2, and 3. And now it's only needed the chamber pressure 1 and the chamber pressure 2. But we don't have to evaluate the chamber pressure 3, okay? And we need to edit our formula to optimize it with regular expressions, okay? So we have to edit our alarm and try to follow the pattern that only searches for the chamber pressure 1 and the chamber pressure 2. So I create 2 rules. One is remove the wildcard and substitute this one with this wildcard with these regular expressions elements. Okay, so you can fill the numbers, these numbers with 1 and 2, for example, to only filter when the chamber pressure is followed by a 1 or by a 2. As you can see in the hints, this restricts the allowed final identifier to N1 or N2. So basically is to substitute the wildcard in the formula. It's only to see that we can do really complex formulas, but we are not here for learning regular expressions. We are learning how to use pattern. So if anybody is available to edit the formula, you will see that the formula is something like this. So we have these monitors activated now, isn't it? Well-
And I'm activating them again. I disable, I
Okay.
deactivated and I'm.
So this is the final formula after the change. So the question is that if you think that it's a good solution. If anyone in Zoom wants to say something also. Okay,
Other you, so if you can be improved the way that it's defined.
well. I will answer the question because I have some things to say. And the answer is that it works, but it's not a good solution. Okay, if you evaluate this formula, you will see that it works exactly as the other, but without having in count the chamber pressure 3. That we want in this context. But if in the future we have new attributes with the same pattern and with more information after this 1 or this 2, like the examples in red, this pattern will search also for these attributes. So the conclusion of this exercise is that sometimes we have to think really carefully if this use of the regular expressions can affect of the formula logic in the future. The conclusion is that the regular expressions are very powerful and we can use it, but we need to have in count these things. In this case, the best solution was only to put our two attributes strictly in the formula and don't have problems if in the future we have new attributes. This is more or less that you was trying to do, Javier. So I wait to do this conclusion because you were in the right way to do it, but this was the surprising conclusion to finish the exercise. Okay, so you can update finally your formula to this solution, and we will continue with new ones. But as I said, the thing for this exercise doesn't was to learn regular expressions, was to take in account what we can do with formulas, but what we need to have in count. So when everyone has updated his formula, here I think it's pressure.
There's one thing that we can show, if you can open any of these formulas, if you're not sure on what you are finding in your regular expression, if we go to the show values widget, open the show values widget, here we can see the attributes that are being found by Phi. So one way that we can do is just try different syntax of the alarms, and you will see here what you find, what are you finding when you do the search. Also, in the main application, if we go to the toolbar, of course, what happens is to avoid having to create an alarm to test the formulas, we have a calculator. So you can test here any formula, type whatever you want, and just test it without having to get the formulas. So you can test the formulas here until you find what you need, and then we will and then just copy paste it into the final formula.
Before clicking the show button to test the attributes that you are finding, you have to save.
Tools.
Well, but in the calculator, you can do it directly.
Yeah.
This is what I mentioned, that in the calculator,
Okay,
you can
the
just test it.
calculator. Yeah.
When you are simply testing new syntax. Okay, now let's go to the next exercise.
Okay, we can reset the simulators.
Don't.
And we have.
Well, and I have an explanation of notification services. So it's well, quite brief. Okay, we have that. I already explained that. The notification services. As we said, the core of the panic system is the PILM server. We have many of them. Typically in a Beamline, we have 4. In the machine, we have 100 with different configurations or for different subsystems. But each PI alarm can execute notification actions when the alarm changes to the not acknowledged state and on other state changes. So these different notifications can be by email with trigger Jira tickets. We can write into Tango attributes. We can log data into archiving or JSON files. We can open and close valves. We can send commands to devices. This is how the front-end auto in Beamlines is working, automatically opening the front end if everything is okay in the Beamline and ready for experiment. Motors, we can use to move motors. This is what we use in mirrors when the mirror is too hot. We use a panic alarm to move the mirror out. And also we can trigger sound or send messages by SMS or Telegram. Well, this is a more verbose description. There is one other method that we have as notification that executing operating system scripts, but it is protected. So only previously authorized system scripts can be executed. It's not something that users can add or remove from the system. For the rest of operations, you can configure Tango commands, sound and speech, SMS, and Telegram. So for the Telegram, we create Telegram notifications. Of course, you don't need to know all this syntax. In your case, what only matters is that you need to know that for the Telegram and the SMS, we controls, we need to pre-configure the system using Jive, because we have to create a panic bot, find the ID for this panic bot, create previously a Telegram group, so we can add you to the group and then send the notifications. All this configuration is mostly hidden for you. You just have to, well, for example, you have to create the Telegram group, give access to us, and we do the rest of configuration. But just to make you know that once we do this configuration, then we can declare an alias. In this case, we will use, well, it's not workshop, but TG workshop. We will show it in the next slide. And just putting this receiver, we can send messages to you without having to enter into all the complexity of the Telegram configuration. So now, where it's important, I hope everything of you have been able to be added to the Telegram group. And this is the receiver that you have to add to your alarms in order to receive the Telegram messages. Is this %TG workshop receiver?
We will see it also in the slide.
Once you add this, you will be ready to go. So let's go for the alarm receivers.
Okay. So now I know that the first exercises with the formulas were a little bit complicated to it by Zoom with regular expressions, etc. But now we know how to move panic, and now we are changing the idea of this exercise. We are moving to a configuration exercise that are more easy to explain and to do it from home. So the objective is configure an alarm with notification services. Okay. The context is a quick explanation that we have formulas, but anyone is receiving the messages, so the alarm is not useful if we are not locally opening panic. So we need to configure the first alarm, that is boycott over temperature and ending with your username, to send an email notification to your ALBA email and send a Telegram notification to your training Telegram group. We have steps to do it, and we have an introducing of a new element, that is the phone book. If you see the toolbar in Panic, you have a button as an icon or as a word, depending of the version. You should see an icon that it's an alias list to put their contacts of different types. We can put emails, we can put this mobile phones to send this SMS, sorry. We can put also Telegram groups, actions, etc. We will see. Okay. So if you enter in the phone book, you will see that you can add a new contact to the phone book. So please add your contact, use your name with no blank spaces, or use your username as the name, and then put your ALBA email and add it to the phone. So if you are inside the phone book, you will see you have a button refresh. If you don't see your enter, that you should be in the contact list with an alias. And if you see also this Telegram group, you will see that we have here the contact of our Telegram group for this training. The alias is TG Workshop, and inside we have information with the Telegram group identifier, etc. Okay, so now the Telegram group is configured, so we can use this contact to send the notifications. We put here a link. If you review these slides after the training, if you want to know how to configure your own group of Telegram, the information is there. Okay, but as Sergi said, and we can do it for you.
Wait a second.
Ahora este man reset.
Fighting with simulator.
Okay, we are fighting with the simulators, but we will activate the condition of this alarm. Now is in normal state, as you see in the photo. we are activating this condition now, and you should put in the annunciators field of your alarm, your contact and the contact of the Telegram group.
Well, just tell us once you will have all your alarm ready, and then we will start the.
It's not started.
Well, they will receive it anyway, so yes, we'll start it.
No, they will not receive it if they don't save the alarm.
Yes, but
They have to do any reset as
yes. Stop. Config.
sí.
Start.
We are waiting to you to configure these annunciators to activate the simulators, to activate the formulas and the execution of these notifications. Because as the number, the phrase 2 or the image 2 says that if you edit any annunciator when an alarm is active, you will not receive any notification because the alarm has been before evaluated and now is active. So Panic will not execute another time these annunciators, even if you edit it. So if you edit an alarm that ticks active with annunciators, you should reset the alarm to reevaluate this formula and these annunciators to execute the notification. Okay, in this case, we are waiting for everybody to put these annunciators and activate the simulators. So have this coordination to activate the notifications at the same time. Everyone has his contacts in the formula and saved the formula.
Between the contacts, comma or
Comma. Yeah. Between the contacts, there is a comma. It's true, Mark. Thank you. Remember that it's the alarm breakout over temperature, the first one, okay?
No, si bufades funcionen al revés.
Això va directe al focus i al fosc. Ja tens posat.
Vale, sí, yo no tengo nada. Vale.
Ja està. I ara si de les 6 segons. Okay, so if you have your annunciator and you save your configuration, we will active the simulator. If all was good, you should receive your alarm from your email and also see it in the Telegram group.
Having a look at the. So not everyone has done the TG workshop. Everyone has added the Telegram to its alarms.
Ali,
Okay. Because not everyone is operating here. Okay, and now see the high pressure. So I will do that. I will start the vehicle.
passa dando attivo, può essere una knowledge. Ok, llavors no es torna a avaluar la docilitat, perquè ja està actiu, s'hauria d'haver enviat a mateixa. Sempre s'envia la passada normal. Llavors, si ja dic una alfabeta està actiu, hauria de ser, o hauria de ser, llavors, les docilitats quan activen està tot normal.
Vale, no, porque yo creo que no. Sí, perché fanno anche controllo per la Vale.
Okay, so I think that the Telegram group is working because I have my mobile phone doing beeps every time. And if you check your email, you should receive also the same alarm but via email. Mira el móvil, Francesc.
Ah, sì, adesso escono su.
Entra, entra. Si veu com és.
Però almenys no arriba aquí. Molt bé?
O no? Ja saliu alguns minuts.
Ah, bé.
In the email can take 2 minutes, for example, depending of the server and these things. Okay, so we will move to the next exercise if you want. Now, we reset all the simulators.
Let's go.
I think that, let me check something. Refresh.
Reset the scenario.
Okay, we reset all the scenarios. Date. So now we will move to the next exercise, that is how to diagnose an alarm. That it's very important because if you receive notification but you don't know how to identify the information there and how to manage it. So this exercise is to do this. In one device, I'm not going to say which, I will execute, or Sergi is executing an unexpected condition. Okay. And this will execute a Telegram notification. So you should go to the Telegram group and review this message. Try to identify which values are involved in this formula, from which device is coming this information, and using Tango browser, find to see what happens. Okay. So first of all, inspecting the alarm in the Telegram group. Let me check if it's the last message. No. We are waiting for this unexpected situation because the simulator is working. So I will say when this alarm is sent. As you can see, the last message is from Navake out over temperature from Ali. Now there will be no more messages instead of this unexpected situation. Okay. The simulator is running.
Simulator is running. I'm just checking the values. Okay.
Okay, so in some seconds you should receive a notification. Okay, now we have it. So you have this notification. You should identify the alarm name, which alarm formula has the state of this alarm, which attributes are involved. And for do this, check the information in the message, but use Tango browser. Use Tango browser to analyze this parameter. This is a little bit cheat, but you should search for these attributes. Remember to check from which device are coming. In this case, these attributes are not coming from your simulator, are coming from another. So I will put the message here if you want. And the thing is, try to plot, for example, the last 5 minutes of this situation and see what happened. In Zoom is working everything okay? Perfect. Okay, so did you try to find something? Anyone has any idea that what happens? We can see in the next slide a little bit of this conclusion. If you had plot these attributes, as the notification say, are coming from my J. Rodriguez training alarms, J. Rodriguez alarm device, that is where the alarm is evaluating. And the attributes are from the simulator panic training, that is mine simulator. And we have this formula where these attributes are involved. So in Tango browser, you can find your simulator panic training / these attributes. And you should see the 5 last minutes or now 10 last minutes, something like this. There is one attribute that does a ramp from 0 to 100. The idea was that you...
Sorry, Julian, I got lost.
Okay,
How did you plot this?
I will do it in real time to show it, okay? Where is Tango browser?
Okay, you go to panic you can open.
Okay. The thing is, we had this message, and as you can see here, the alarm was active at this time, and it's coming from a device called Training Alarms. J. Rodriguez, that is my username, that is the alarm evaluator, okay? And the description was, it seems that the front end has closed. Find out why, okay? And the formula has some attributes involved that comes from the simulator panic training, that is mine simulator, not yours, with the name of the attribute, okay? So there is the beam on, the beam stopper position, that has to be more or equal than 100 to active the alarm, have the valves of the beam line closed, and nothing else, okay? So the thing is that the alarm is active because the beam stopper position was 100, and the other conditions were the same as the formula says. The beam on was true, but the valves of the beam line or the front end, because this is a simulated situation, were closed. So the thing is that we can find here in my simulator that the notification says training. We can find all the attributes, for example. Okay, and the alarm has in count the beam on. You can plot it here. The valve 1, the valve 2, the valve main. Then the last attribute that is important, the beam stopper position. Okay, we have it here. And then once you have these attributes in Tango browser, you can select here how much time do you want from now to the past. Okay, for example, I don't know if 5 minutes could be, no, we can check it, 5 minutes. Okay, here. Well, I think that having this in white is not a good option. I don't remember. I will put the beam stopper position really clear. So I will put it in 5 or 6. Okay, so we have here the attributes in really low values that it can be seen mostly because there are values moving from 0 to 1, so it's difficult to plot it. The Vmon also is 0, 1, true or false, but we see that this motor is doing a ramp from 0 to 100, and this is why our beamline or the EPS by protection close the valves. But our motor is still in 100. So this is why the alarm was active. This is a little bit what happened and how to diagnose this alarm. Okay.
You can also open the alarm formula preview on the panic and drag and drop the attributes into the Taurus. How it's called this? The Tango browser.
Should be another way, yes. Seeing the notification.
Instead of searching for the attributes in the Tango browser, you can open this alarm formula preview in the panic and drag and drop the attributes inside the Tango browser.
Doing this. No.
No, show values.
Okay. Yes.
You can drag and drop these attributes inside the Tango browser. Yeah.
These ones. Yes, probably yes. It's more comfortable. It's true. Okay, so this was the exercise 4. If anyone has any question or wants to say something, a good option also to do it, or if not, the exercise 5 is related with this. Okay. So we finished the exercise 4. I think that everyone understands how to use Tango browser to diagnose a little bit. David comments a hint to find.
So, yes, you can much easily find the attributes using the show value spanning from the alarm formula.
Yes, and my last exercise in this case is exercise 5. Okay, that is related with this. Okay, with this same situation, really quickly. The thing is that from panic alarms we can execute commands, Tango commands, and the situation was that the motor takes a 100 position and still there. So now we want that this panic alarm move this motor to 0 when the alarm is active. Okay. To do it, we need to create our own alarm with your user, because to do the last exercise we were using my alarm, but you now need to create the beamline closed alarm with your username in your device using your simulator attributes with this information. And then when you have this information in your alarm, we will explain how to configure an action inside an alarm. I think we can reset the simulator.
Also, because we are finishing the training, you can also try the option clone alarm. You want?
Yeah, you can try the option clone alarm from mine and change the username in every field. If you want to see it, we can do it from here. We can do right click. This was the alarm. You can clone the alarm and then change the information.
This is useful when you have many similar alarms. You can use one as template and then just modify the name for them.
The device is yours, no?
Yeah, but in this case, you should do it in your device.
In my devices are the same.
All in your device, in your user.
You clone quickly, change and put your
Yes.
device on the.
For example, I'm cloning here with a beamline close training test to do this test clone, for example. I have it here. So if I search PIM, for example, this is the test clone. You can edit it. Edit the alarm, and you should edit the username here, the username in the device to select yours, and the username in the attributes. For example, here you should put your username. Okay, I think that everyone is creating his alarms, so perfect. Lee, Monse, Mohamed, David. Okay, so if you have your formula, we can continue to configuring the action, okay? To configure an action, we use the annunciators field. The annunciators field is the same field where we have. Let me reset my alarm to explain this. Well, we will use this field at the annunciators field, okay? That is where we are putting the receivers. How we can use this? As you can see, we have a plus button here that comes to the phone book context. And you can use a phone book contact to do this, or you can put this directly in the annunciators field, okay? This is an action that executes an alarms command using the simulator from your username, that is a Tango device, that has a command that is move beam stopper to home. Okay, I will do it in real time, okay, to do it guided. I copy this, I close this also. I have panic here. So I am going to the phone book, for example. And I will add a new contact that is my username. Is simple and move motor, for example. Could be better identifiers, what? And here, unless this says email, you can put this action that we have in the slides. And let me, if I can do this, yes. And here in your username, you can put your simulator. In my case, it's training, but in your case should be your username, okay? And if you add this, the following alarm will be affected. Okay, anyone. Perfect. So Julian Rodriguez move motor added successfully. We have this action in our phone book. So now if I go to my alarm, yeah, I know, but the others are normal, so it's no problem. I can add here another annunciator that is J. Rodriguez move motor. Okay, and this, when you have this, you can save your alarm, and when everyone has do this, we can activate the simulator, and you will see that the alarm, when it's active, sends a teller notification and moves the motor to the 0 position.
Do the reset and everything.
Jo m'he perdut, vull deixar.
Ara ho miro.
No hi veig.
Vale. Pues el reset es más
Sí, però els lights no veig el que actiu.
Ah,
Com que no hi veig, doncs...
bueno.
Okay, so now, if we configure this,
Ja,
we have, I think that we have Tango browser here plotting. Okay. Now we are 5 minutes, please. 5 minutes. 1 minute. We are increasing in our motor position in my training simulator, for example, using my alarm as example. We are increasing from 0 to 100. Here, when we arrive to 100, the alarm should be activated. I'm doing this to show you something. Okay, as you can see, we have arrived to this position and the alarm was triggered and the motor position becomes 0 another time. As we have a simulator, obviously the scenario is repeating his behavior, but the alarm acts in front of this motor. And with this, the exercise 5 is finished.
Okay. So now I'll go to exercise 6. Just to doing the close up of the training.
If anyone has any doubt, please.
Okay. Now, in the exercise 6, we will just do a fast overview of how the boarding period and the auto reset periods affect the alarms. In this case, if you have plotted before the pressures from our simulators, you'll have seen that we have a very noisy pressure. We have a pressure that is giving peaks all the time. In this case, we are seeing a system that is not going to a non-functional state, but it's obviously having a problem. What happened now is because typically because we put alarm thresholds and polling periods that are around a minute, when we have a fast peak that recovers this, for example, it could be a spark or like a gazing or something like that, that we cannot notice if we use an alarm threshold of a second. A polling period and a threshold of a second. What we will do in this exercise is show how to tune an alarm to react to something as short as a peak. So it is a specific case of an alarm in which what we want is to just detect the malfunction as soon as possible. It could be a noisy alarm, so it's something that we do only for specific cases. Okay? Create vacuum peaks your username alarm. In this case, the formula will be very similar to the one that we created for the high pressures. So you can clone that alarm. If you want, you can go to the vacuum pressure alarm and clone it. And now what we will do when modifying the alarm is to go to the configuration parameters of the alarm. For example, if I go to this alarm here in the wheel next to the device name, we can see a new panel where we can modify the properties of the alarm. This exercise basically is focused on understanding 4 properties. The alarm threshold is the number of consecutive evaluations of the formula that are needed to activate the alarm. For example, if I check the formula 3 times and the alarm threshold is 3, so the first time it's okay, the alarm is active, and at the 3rd time I go to not acknowledge state. This is to avoid switching and errors. So in our case, the alarm threshold that we want will be 1, because we just want to detect the peak. So we'll have an alarm threshold of 1. Then the polling period. Typically, we evaluate the formula every 5 seconds or 15 seconds, but as we are looking for a peak, this time the polling period that we have to set up for our device is 1 second. So when we modify the values here in the table, we will have to set alarm threshold 1, polling period 1. We also want to detect every peak. It means that the alarm, as we have seen, the annunciator is executed only if the alarm goes to active. But if it gets active and you have more peaks, the alarm is not activated anymore. It just activates 1. If you want the alarm to be sent for each peak, the auto reset also have to be lower. So we are going to do the test, putting 1 for the threshold, 1 for the polling period, and 1 for the auto reset. You can do the test editing the same alarm that you have done before. You can go to the vacuum pressure alarm and do the changes there. One in the threshold, 1 in the polling period, 1 in the auto reset. Okay, this is a kind of extreme tuning of an alarm to just detect the peaks. What will be the problem of an alarm set like this? That you may start receiving messages every second. So this is why there is another property that you can set up. This is the last one, max alarms per day. You can tell Panic to, okay, send me if there has been 3 peaks today, or 4 or 50, but not more than that. So you can also set this the max messages per alarm, put it to a number of 10, and then you will avoid receiving a spam. What we are doing in this exercise is playing with the activation times of this cycle. We are changing the times on which an alarm is going to not acknowledge, return to none, and normal again. You also, the target is that if we plot both the alarm and the pressure peak, we should have something like that. The alarm being activated and reset for each peak. This is an extreme situation because we do not have peaks every second or every 10 seconds. But for example, we can have in an RF chamber problem with an arc that happens sometimes, and it's a very brief peak. And we just want, even if the RF chamber continues working okay after that, we want to receive an arc because we want to count how many times it happened during the week to evaluate the product. So this is a way in which you can do it. Or for example, in the case of arc, you can use Panic to trigger a command. So every time I have an arc in the cavity, save all the conditions. So I know to know what was happening there. So there's another, we will not do that because we don't have speakers here in the room. But also doing commands, another thing that we can do is set up sound. Using a device server called Festival, we can place actually sound in the computers. So it is used in control room. In control room, every time they have an alarm, there is a, well, not for all alarms, but there is a sound in control room. We can send the message description of the alarm, and we send it through a speech to the speakers. It's something that is configured in the control room and can be configured in the device. But obviously, it's only useful when you are next to the speech. Continuing a bit with explanation, the max messages per alarm property that I commented, it's important because one thing that we have to consider in the alarm system is that we have to tune the alarm system to not cause excessive alarms. The norm for alarm systems specifies that an operator should not receive more than 12 alarms per hour and not more than 2 in a 10 minutes time. Because it's considered that if the alarm system is sending more alarms than those that you are able to process, is not helping, just causing more noise. So really the system should be tuned and alarms can be grouped, as I've shown in some other examples. You can create an alarm or a message that is sent if any other alarm is active, to avoid having all the messages sent individually. So there are many strategies that you can use using the thresholds, the polling periods, and the auto resets, and the max messages per alarm to avoid going through this. You can receive as many alarms as you want, but if you receive a message every second, you will not be able to read. So summarizing, these are all the configuration parameters that we have in PyAlarm that help us to modify this. Okay? So we can modify a part of the polling period and threshold. The alert on recovery is whether we want to receive a message when there is a return to normal or not. We optionally can receive that. We can send reminders when something is active to periodically send again a new email if it keeps active. Then we can have startup delays, and the enable is a formula optional to completely disable a PyAlarm device if it's necessary. And then we can have, well, the use events, eval timeout, ignore exceptions. It's more properly some are the properties that we use to filter out errors, because sometimes you want to receive a message if the control system fails, but sometimes you don't want that. So we have different properties that we use at controls to configure whether an error in the system is considered an error. We use these options to filter that. Then finishing, we are in just at the 2 last slides. Here is a summary of how you can connect to OpenPanic on the beam lines. So we have the BL number CT machines on the beam lines, the C remote in the control room, and the TLA subsystems, so TLA BC, TLA OP, TLA RF. We have also machines for the laboratories where you can open the panic system for each laboratory. In these cases, we have the operator, OPDL, and other users, and specific operators for each of the sections here. There are many different usernames, and typically when you need in a new laboratory a new username for the user of the laboratory, we have to ask ourselves and systems to create the user, add it as an admin. So every panic system should have an admin that is responsible of the laboratory to manage and add and remove users. Okay, and last but not least, we will send you a survey because we want to know what is your feedback from the training, but also your feedback from the application. We have many future developments that we would like to do, but also we want to know what is your feeling when you use the application and what are the developments you would be interested in. How we can change and improve the software and make it better. So we will send you a survey. This is the list of the current things in which we thought that would be interesting for new versions. But we will ask you about how you felt how it's working with the application and what are your suggestions. And just finishing with that, we have online resources. This is the list of different web pages where you can have more documentation and hints about all the software that we have shown here. Okay. There is one thing that I wanted to mention. There is sometimes in some beamlines, as you can see, we can have many different panic device servers in a beamline. In the exercise in which we have modified the configuration, you will have seen that if you change the configuration, you have a warning telling you, you're changing the configuration for all alarms. This is why on many beamlines you will see this. And you see that we have an alarm and an alarm dash fast. We can have different devices for different configurations. So we can have a device only for vacuum alarms, a device only for optic alarms, a device for fast alarms, a device for slow alarms. Each by-alarm device that we create helps us to have different configurations. So it's a system that can be tuned in many different ways. Okay. Here, for example, from the training yesterday, we have Uri Ultra B and Uri Ultra B Fast, or Marion Armingol Fast. So you can create your new device to have just a unique setup for the on an alarm, and then use the default setup for all the rest. And that's all. If you want to make any question, of course, you can find us on Zoom and you can make a question now.